What's going on, guys? Back with another video. So I got a couple very interesting things to show you today. Maybe more sick and disgusting and sad than interesting, but I'll let you decide for that. First thing I'm going to show you is a video of Mark Carney admitting he lied. And then I'm going to show you a video of a report how home invasions are up 54% in the Toronto area. Sick, isn't it? Now, before we get into this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much. So we're going to start off with the Mark Carney video here. This is clipped by Jasmine Lane, reposted by Mark Nixon. He says, WTF, executive order to end the carbon tax? Fake. Executive order for a middle-class tax cut? Fake. Canada doesn't do executive orders. That's correct. Now the kicker. Breaking. PM Mark Carney admits he lied. His shiny new bill contains 0 major national projects. Remember when he promised in question period? Major projects for Canadians. He just kept saying it over and over again, along with the fact that they kept saying this new government. Why are they emphasizing on new government? Because they don't want you to know that they're the old government. When they say something, the opposite is usually true. But either way, let's get into this video and then we'll talk about it after, like usual.
How we bring it to life in the right way. And I think that's the first point I really want to emphasize, is that this act is only a way of starting a conversation and starting a process. And we define that process going forward. But what it could do is enable Canada to build big things that will connect and transform our national economy. Create great careers, not just jobs, but careers for the people that we serve, and provide the resources for health, for education, and social services that our people deserve. It's about giving ourselves more than any foreign government can ever take away. It's about controlling our economic destiny together.
How interesting. It's about giving us what no foreign government can take away. Well, let me show you something. I showed this on my last video, but for those of you who missed it, here's what this government has allowed to being taken away from us. Almost $100 billion in investment since February. Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney has only been Prime Minister since March, but even then you're looking at about billion with a B. Of Canada's international transaction in securities billions of dollars were minus $50 million or so since Mark Carney's been in charge. Jeez. We're doing really well, eh? This guy has no interest in helping any of us in Canada. And if you thought that, this guy was going to return things to the way they were, back when people could afford things, and this guy's he's a banker and he knows money and he's going to fix the economy, ask the UK about that. Which, by the way, speaking of the UK, I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you heard about this, but the UK is lowering the voting age from 18 to 16, which is absolutely insane. But the question's going around, so I want to ask you guys. Do you think Canada should do that? Of course, my answer is no, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about that? I think that's absolutely insane, and they're doing it because, generally speaking, younger people are more liberal. Now, that might start to change, to be fair, but it's hard for a 16-year-old to understand the economy and taxes and bills until they have to start paying it. But they're going to figure it out. But generally speaking, when they're that young, they're going to be more liberal. But we'll see. Hopefully that backfires on them, and you bet if it does, they're going to change the laws back. Oh, what a joke. I mean, the UK is absolutely a failed society. Canada's a failed society. It's just we're not even a country anymore. I don't even know, Banana Republic is something that's probably an overused term, but it's absolutely true. They pretended to have executive orders to sign things off, and they aren't real executive orders. If something is voted into Parliament, in order to get rid of it, you have to vote it out. Well, you can't vote on anything right now because they're on vacation. So what did Mark Carney do? He put on a show, kind of like Donald Trump, right? All those people like to compare Trump and Pierre Poilievre. Well, Trump likes to put on a show in a big fancy office making these signatures. But Donald Trump actually can sign executive orders. Mark Carney can't, but he pretended to make himself look good, and it worked. Because a lot of swing voters are idiots who fell for this. Like, again, sorry, I don't like the name calling. I understand. But if someone's being an idiot over and over and over and over again, and we got a liberal government 4 times in a row after they've screwed us, sorry, you're an idiot. I'm going to keep saying it until people get it. I don't understand why people don't, but either way. Now, I'm going to stop my little rant there. Let's go to this other video here. Report. Home invasions are up 54% in the Toronto area, and experts advise the public to get a dog. And if an intruder enters your home, basically do nothing because there isn't anything you can do unless you want to be charged by the police. That's right. You break and enter a home. If you do get caught, you'll be released on bail. But if you defend your home, you'll be charged. Banana Republics. Let's have a look at this video, and then we'll talk about this after as well.
Intruder in his home. This comes as Toronto police report a Scarborough homeowner is speaking out after he says that he confronted an intruder in his home. This comes as Toronto police report a nearly 50% spike in residential robberies so far this year. CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan joins us live. You know, those numbers are quite telling that anyone could become a victim. What are you supposed to do in these situations?
In this particular case, it's believed that the suspect entered the house through an unlocked door. The homeowners are in their 70s, retired couple in their 70s.
Do you guys remember when Michael Moore made that documentary? I think it was the one about, was it Bowling for Columbine, maybe? Where he came up to Canada. And he was walking through neighborhoods in Toronto, and he was kind of like saying, hey, do I have to knock on the door, or can I just open the door? He went up to some people's doors and just opened it. Because you used to be able to leave your door unlocked in most neighborhoods in Canada. I'm not saying I advise that, but if it's hot outside but there's a nice breeze, you don't have air conditioning, I can understand why you want to leave some windows and maybe even your door open. And look, this looks like a nice little suburban area. Just looks like a nice little area of a city. And yet you see someone here running out of the house. It looks like their garage was open. Because they just decided, hey, I don't get punished by laws in this country. They basically don't exist. So I can do what I want and threaten people. And potentially even harm people. Steal their crap. What's going to happen to them? Nothing. But if you defend it, they'll throw you in jail. What a joke.
Home is supposed to be your sanctuary. And when somebody violates that and gets into your private areas, it really is a violation of your sense of security. So the police are advising that you keep your doors locked. This man said that they typically kept their door open for the cool breeze to come into the house. Sadly, those days are gone. The best advice from the police is to make sure that your doors are secured at all time, because you can't trust anybody walking past your house these days.
And then, Steve, you know, revisiting a question that we ask so many times, how are you supposed to protect your home?
Exactly. And the best you can do is make sure that your home is as secure as it can be. And I always say this, and the easy answer, people will ask multiple times, what is the best way to protect your home? Mm-hmm. A dog.
Situations,
I can think of a better way. I won't say it because YouTube's kind of weird with their terms of service and what you can and can't say, but I can think of a better way to protect your home, can't you? I bet you can. And we're all thinking the same thing. You should be able to protect your home. And yes, a dog's great depending on the type of dog you have, but I mean, even then, if they're armed, they can harm the dog too. It's not necessarily going to stop someone from invading your home. And that's the best you can do in this country. Because again, we are a failed society living in a country that is very unserious. That's why there's separatists. That's why there's 51st staters. Because they're just, you know what, this country is failing anyway, might as well leave now. Want to become America or China? Looks like those are the only two options for the future.
Faced with an intruder, you call 911. What do you do until police get there?
That's a great question. That's a very good question. What do you do? If somebody's in your home and you want them out, you do what you deem to be the most important thing to do to keep yourself safe, but your response has to be proportionate to the threat that you're being met with. I know a lot of people have difficulty with that because I break into your home, you should be able to do whatever it is you want to do to get me out. But that's not the case. There has to be some sort of threat for that to occur. So that's a great question. And I think for the most part, keeping your doors locked.
And that's the thing. It's like keeping your doors locked, getting a dog, that's great. But if someone enters your house and you don't want them to be there, you should be able to use whatever force necessary to remove them from your house. And if that means something bad, then it means something bad. You can't just tell people, hey guys, work here, live here, buy a house here, an overpriced house, but we're not going to protect you. We're like, if you have money, why would you be in Canada right now? Your money's worth way less. Your investment, the economy is collapsing. Investments are leaving the country. Why do you think the investments are leaving the country? Because it's broken. Dude, there's no way I'd stay here. Like, maybe I'd go to Alberta. But if I had the money to leave, I'd be living in Tennessee or Texas or Florida somewhere. Notice how I didn't mention the blue state. Because they have similar laws. Because that's what the so-called left wing has now become. Just a bunch of nihilists who want to see everything destroyed. And it's a good job they keep voting for it. Now, again, this is a Toronto area neighborhood. I don't know which one, but if you look at the electoral map from the election, which one of the major cities, well, there's many of them, but Toronto is one of the biggest liberal cesspools in the country. So there you go, guys. And again, they mentioned someone in their 70s. Liberal Eastern boomers voted for this. Bad things happen. And again, I don't want these things to happen. That's why I voted for change. Maybe you should learn from your mistakes, but they don't. These stubborn morons just keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. And I don't know how they're going to learn, but they're not going to get those different results. Especially when they just keep voting for the party of problems. That's what the Liberal Party is. And you're seeing this disgusting crap continue to happen, and yet they continue to vote for it. So again, I don't want this stuff to happen, but the empathy has been beaten out of me for the past 2 years. I don't have it anymore. I have a hard time caring about people who just want to see this country destroyed. And if they really don't think that that's what they're doing, then they need to give their head a shake. This is not happening by accident. They're letting this happen on purpose. And if you protect your home, they'll put you in jail. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And they voted because they're scared of Trump. You should be scared to live in your own neighborhood, for crying out loud. You can't go outside at night anymore. I mean, my God. There's been people who get unalived here in Hamilton. They don't catch the person for a couple days, and they leave the country. It's just a free-for-all. You can come in and out anytime you want. But apparently saying that is racist. Like, can you imagine having such a smooth brain where that's what you think? It's truly unbelievable, but at the same time, it really isn't. Because we live in a disgusting, broken country filled with idiots. But let me know what you guys think. That's enough for my ranting today. This really pisses me off. But let me know what you think. Please don't be shy. I'll be back shortly with a new one.